Welcome to another episode of the Risk Takers Podcast presented by HYM Enterprises. I'm your host, Harold Matos. This is a show where we feature esteemed business leaders of Southwest Florida as they provide us insights into their business and personal journey. Please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a weekly dose of your motivation and inspiration. Joining me to co-host today's episode is Idalia Serrano, CEO of Gator Services. Gator Services is a business consulting firm located in Southwest Florida that specializes in business development through marketing, branding, and strategy. Any city limit that I have crossed into in Southwest Florida, I'm bound to drive by Marzucco real estate office. Our next guest has had market control in the Southwest Florida real estate industry for nearly a decade. After this episode, we're going to find out if he has more real estate offices in place than there is Walmarts in Southwest Florida. Please help me welcome Josh Marzucco.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How you feeling, man?
Feeling
Emotionally,
good.
physically,
Good.
spiritually?
A little tired, but that's just the journey of the business. So.
Awesome. All right. Josh Marzucco, owner of Marzucco Luxury Real Estate Brokerages. Can you share what your family dynamic was like growing up?
Grew up with my dad. My parents were divorced since I was 7. My mom, still lived 10, 15 minutes away. I had wonderful, hardworking parents. My dad was a janitor at a little Catholic, school and church for the majority of my life. Very, very humble beginnings. We actually, for roughly 10 years, lived in the master bedroom of a Dominican family's house.
Wow.
We turned the master bedroom into an apartment. And, after the divorce, he was, financially not too stable and was painting houses with him on the weekends. At night, we picked furniture out of garbages on Wednesdays and Friday nights. We painted it, refurbished it, took it to the flea market on the weekends and sold it. So came from, grew up in Golden Gate City, born and raised, here in Naples, but, was raised in Golden Gate City and had a very, great childhood.
So did that breakup between your parents, did that kind of shape you as like, hey, when I get older, I want to be very tight with family because that was a hard thing for me to swallow, seeing my parents split apart?
Yeah. I'm divorced too. I have 2 teenage daughters full time. And my dad and my mom, as much as she could, she was a hardworking nurse, but my dad never missed anything. Even he worked 7 days a week, and as much, bullshit that he was going through trying to get ahead, he never missed a practice. I mean, never missed a game, but never even missed a practice. So he tried to show up for everything. So I try to do, the same for my kids, and he definitely instilled that in us.
Alrighty. In your opinion, how important is property ownership?
Very important. My dad has instilled in us, my brother and sister and I, since we were kids. As Harold was saying earlier, your property is your kingdom, it's your domain, and you can grow off that. So whether it's through equity and acquiring more properties, I think it's one of the number one things a person should strive for.
Okay, so piggybacking off that, and we'll get a little bit more in depth, but outside of real estate, what are some of your favorite ways to spend your time? If you can go in detail.
Definitely with family and friends. I'm an avid golfer. I enjoy fishing, boating. But I would have to say my, 2 favorite pastimes, aside from family, are golfing and boating.
Okay. What is the worst purchase you've ever made?
Worst purchase I ever made? Wow. Probably like a boat or a car or something along those lines, where you're bound to lose money on. You buy it thinking you're cool and, you have something fun or a toy, and you're going to lose money on it. All
right, diving back into the real estate, was real estate always part of your family history, or is it something you pursued after studying the market?
No, I mean, we, after my dad got back on his feet, he opened a sports bar in North Naples in 2008, right, during the crash. And his brothers were always in construction and building here in Naples and, painting and concrete and stuff like that. My dad, dabbled in that a little bit. But I was, running and working the bar with him, bartending with my brother and, managing and just doing the day-to-day duties of that. And a lady named April Keating became friends with my father, and she was a very good real estate agent in town. She still is. She crushes it. She used to see how much people we knew, coming in the bar and how many people, that we were acquainted with. And she would tell me, you need to get your real estate license. And, so I'm like, I don't want to be a realtor. And, but she talked me into it. I got it. She took me under her wing. She was my mentor, and that's how I got into it. And just naturally being from Naples and, being affluent with the area, I started getting some buyers and sellers, and, and I ran with it.
And when did you get your broker license?
I didn't get my broker's license, I want to say, until 2018 or 19. I got my real estate license in 2015, and I got my broker's license maybe in 17 or 18. But I actually started a brokerage, and not many people know you can do this. You can start a brokerage even just as a realtor. You don't have to be a broker. I hired a managing broker, which was one of my best friends, Jim DePaulo. His mom, Dorothy DePaulo, she was gracious enough to be our managing broker until I got my broker's license.
Amazing. How many offices do you have, and in which cities?
So currently we have 5 offices: downtown Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral. We're right outside of Tampa in a town, really cool little town called Plant City, Florida. And we're way north in Lake City, Florida, which is about probably 30 minutes north of Gainesville.
Okay, so, all right, what drove you to open, the 5 offices, and what was the original goal?
Yeah, so the original goal, I never planned on even opening a brokerage. I was with 100% commission brokerage. I was happy at the bar, happy selling real estate on the side. But our brokerage got bought out by a big corporation, and they changed the commission split on us. And I had just recruited, some friends and acquaintances, to join the brokerage, and I kind of felt bad. And people were coming to me and like, hey, you need to start a brokerage. And I'm like, I had no intentions of doing this. I maybe wanted to, originally when I did it, to get into maybe building and have maybe 5 agents under us. My goal was to try to build some houses, but 1 agent turned into 3 turned into 10, and now here we are.
Yeah. And so what sets you guys apart from your competition, whoever that may be?
Definitely the leadership that I have with our team. I have some really great partners. I have some really great brokers and staff. We pride ourselves on offering 24/7 support to the agents. And we really try to, keep up, because there is a lot. When you have over 400 agents, there's a lot of contracts, a lot of headaches, a lot of, issues that pop up. But we try to be there. And when I say 24/7, you can ask some of my staff, and, they probably get a little worn out at times, but we really try to help our agents when they need it. And we're 100% commission. So I think that definitely sets us apart. We're not the only ones doing it, but I think agents are starting to realize that they deserve all of their commission, and we're gaining, more and more agents each month.
With that being, to get specific, how many agents are currently under the Marzucco real estate
So
team?
we have over 400 active agents and probably 450 to 460 agents in total, active and referral based.
Okay. Now, with that many agents, are you the largest real estate brokerage in Southwest Florida?
No, not the largest. I believe Premier Plus is the largest. MVP is another big one. We're definitely not the largest, but we're chugging ahead.
Yeah. And what challenges, come with handling that many agents?
Just the day-to-day operations. It's always it's like going to battle every day. My right-hand man is Deshaun, and my right-hand lady is Catalina. And, we kind of joke with each other that we're in the office every day together, and, just putting out fires, and, it's never a dull moment. Not a week goes by that there was a dull moment.
Yeah. From a generational perspective, what insights have you gained from working with your youngest agent and your most experienced agent?
So with the most experience, you can't take away wisdom and knowledge and past experiences. So in real estate, every deal is different. No 2 deals are alike. There's always something that comes up, whether it's the financing or something with, the title, or, a lien on a house or something. No 2 deals are the same. So with the older generation of agents, their experience is invaluable. And then with the new generation of agents that's coming out, they're really running with social media. And I'm learning a lot. We have some agents that are really killing it on social media, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, using AI for certain things. So it's going to be, in my opinion, really awesome to see this next generation of agents of what they can do with technology.
Mm-hmm. Now, in what ways does the Marzucco real estate brand contribute to the community?
We do a lot. I can't even count how many like little league teams or Pop Warner cheerleading, stuff like that, with local teams that we sponsor. I could show you my email. Probably by the day we're getting asked for donations and sponsorships, and we wish we could do it all. Obviously you can't do it all, but every year at Thanksgiving time we do a turkey drive, and we go out to Immokalee physically at a little church in Immokalee, and we have a line around the block, and we probably feed between 300 and 400 families every year. Wow. Then weeks later, we do a toy drive. So we try to fill up the offices with as many toys as we can, and then we do another trip to Immokalee with a caravan of people, and we meet at a Catholic church out there, and we literally go door to door passing out toys. And it's really great to see, because people think Naples and think all the glam and money, but they don't realize within 30 minutes of Naples is a very poor area of Florida, and people that are without. And some of these kids have never got a present in their life. So we get a really good group of agents together and collaborate with other brokerages to do the same thing. So we try to give back as much as we possibly can.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the housing market, do you think we could see a housing crash similar to the 2008?
I get that question. I got that question twice today already. One of my agents had clients in the office, and I get the question all the time. I do not have a crystal ball. Do I feel that there's a lot more equity in Southwest Florida now than there was in 2008? I was 3 years out of high school in 2008, and wasn't even thinking about real estate at that time. But I watched my uncles and my dad and friends' parents go through different things pertaining to the crash. I don't think it would ever be as bad as that. Could there be a little bit more of a pullback? I feel like right now we're kind of at the bottom of the market, mainly here in Southwest Florida. I can't speak for other parts of the country or even the state. But I don't think personally, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think we will experience something like that. Something very drastic would have to happen.
All right, in your opinion, how important is property ownership?
Extremely. That's something my dad has pushed on my brother and sister and I our entire life. He's got a few rental houses now in the area. It's just something that's always been instilled in us. And we're in my house right now, and as you said earlier, your house is your kingdom, it's your domain, and I think it's extremely important. There's once you have one, there's ways to build, off the equity in it and acquire more. It's been, property has been pushed since the beginning of time. People traded property and land, and I think it was Mark Twain that said they're not making any more land.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right on that. So on the humor side, what's the most ridiculous demand a client has ever made?
Oh, shoot. I've been out of the game at, actively selling real estate for a while. I'm more managing the day-to-day operations. But if I had to think of something, when I was attacked by a German Shepherd when I was 9. So that's an experience that kind of traumatized you a little bit. So I'm very, leery of big dogs or quote unquote aggressive breed dogs. And a customer one time had a Rottweiler, and they couldn't be home, and then there was a last minute showing scheduled, and you never want to miss a potential sale. And then they hit me with, hey, can you I forget the dog's name, can you put so-and-so in another room and make sure he doesn't go near anybody, because he was known to chirp a little bit. And I was like, yeah, but thought about not doing it. And I went in the house, opened the door that the dog was in. He started growling and barking, and like he was going to come after me, slammed the door shut. And I said, that dog's going to stay in that room. And the people came in, and I said, just don't open that door. You can see every part of the house, but don't open that door. So that was probably, for me, I mean, I'm sure there was crazier things in the past, but I don't, anyone that knows me, my friends constantly make fun of me. My best friend, Drew, has a big South African Mastiff. It took me 2 years to go to his house after he bought his new house. I just, once you get bit, you understand.
It's traumatizing.
Yep.
All right. How many more Marzucco offices can we expect in the future?
It's always, we go more off of, what we think the demographic, the area, where we can put an office that will attract agents, that will come and actually use the office. So definitely considering Golden Gate Estates, further east, definitely considering Lehigh Acres. I've always had my eye on Sarasota, maybe Miami in the future. A couple years ago, we were kind of going in that direction. And then, we slowly, transitioned out of it. But yeah, I would expect, Golden Gate Estates and Lehigh is definitely on our near future radar.
Okay, definitely looking forward to that. What social platforms can we find you on, and also find the Marzucco Luxury team under?
Yeah, so we're all over TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
What's your name on social media?
Social media, my name is just under Josh Marzucco or the Realist Broker on Instagram.
And to find the brokerages?
The Marzucco Luxury Real Estate. So if you Google Marzucco, we're bound to pop up somewhere.
Before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice? Before we wrap up, what's one key piece of advice you can give an aspiring risk taker?
An aspiring risk taker, don't take no for an answer. Never take no for an answer. People will tell you no all the time. That won't work. Can't afford it. It just keep grinding and, stick to your game plan. And if you truly believe, in a business or a plan or an idea, I mean, my own father has told me no. And I've tried a bunch of different things, from charter captain to bartending school to all kinds of different things. And, I've heard no a lot. And you have to try things until they work. And the real estate, brokerage happened to work. And, I was good at recruiting and taking care of agents, and it worked. But some things don't work.
Okay. All right. It's another episode of the Risk Takers Podcast. See you next time.